All right, so it's January 1st, 2024, and you are, of course, thinking about what you want this year to look like for you. Most of us are. But if you're like me, you're also thinking about all the things that you failed at in 2023. But I'm not here to judge because I'm in the same boat. Last year on this channel, I made a video saying I'm going to read 70 books in 2023. I did not read 70 books. So here's why you and I failed at our 2023 goals. And just so you don't feel too attacked, we're going to use me, yes, my ambitious goal of reading 70 books in 365 days. We're going to use that as a sort of case study on how to not succeed at your yearly goals. So we could also name this video, Why I Didn't Succeed at My 2023 Goal of Reading 70 Books. So this video doesn't feel too clickbaity. I'm going to give you probably the best reason why you didn't succeed at your 2023 goals. I'm gonna give it to you first. The first one is you lacked a reasonable system to actually achieve the goal. Okay, that sounds very broad. So many of us focus on the goal itself, on the ambition. I'm gonna read more, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna lift more weights, I'm gonna be more active, I'm gonna make more money, I'm going to be a better student, father, husband. We give so much attention to the goal and the ambition itself, and very little, if any, to the system that's going to carry that thing. There's no serious, intricate routine that is put in place, not just for that one goal, but your life in general. Think of systems much like an operating system on a computer or on your phone. Let's use a phone, for example. Say there's a new app out there that you want to get on. It's like, oh, you see a friend like, man, that app is really dope. I want to use that app. And they say, okay, cool. Show me your phone. I'll download it or whatever on your phone, then you can use it. Oh, I don't have a phone. I just want the app. Well, yeah, you want the app, but you need the phone. You need the operating system to run the app. So we have to start thinking about our goals and our ambitions like applications on a phone. And a basic operating system can run a bunch of different things. It is made to be able to sustain many different applications, not just the ones that you're currently interested, but also ones that you may be interested in the future. So you have to think through, what type of system would I need to carry an ambition like going to the gym every day? But to be honest, most of us already really have systems in place. They're just not very good ones or very intentional ones. Everyone has some sort of system. And you get out of bed roughly between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. or roughly between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. You get on your phone and you're on it for roughly 20 to 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes you eat breakfast, sometimes you don't. This is a system, it's just not a very good one. So maybe even the better example is not just not having a phone at all, but maybe having a very old phone. You have a 2017 phone and you're trying to run 2024 applications. So the system that you were using in 2017 worked for the goals and ambitions, the applications that you had in 2017, but it is inadequate and possibly incompatible with the goals that you have, the applications that you want to download in 2024. So you have an inadequate, old, outdated system and then wonder why your apps keep crashing. You're using the system that got you through whatever you were going through in 2015, 2016, 2017, and wondering why that system isn't working for your 2022, your 2023, your 2024, 25, and beyond. You need a better, more intricate system. And I can't go too much into this. I don't want to make this whole video about systems, but it's been a huge part of my life these past 60 days. Really, I've had a very specific morning routine. It has rocked my life, and I cannot wait to talk to y'all more about how this morning routine, this system that I have in my life, not just in the morning, but throughout my house, my mind, my journaling, my car, everything is on a system, and I'm building that system more and more each day. Second reason why you failed at your 2023 goals. Why I failed at reading 70 books in a year. I did not give room, you did not give room for setbacks and plateaus. So given the type of schedule that I have, and given the amount of books that I read in 2022, 70 books was a very ambitious goal. And your goals should be risky. If they're not risky, then they don't motivate you. They're too easy to get. You didn't really get very far. For your long-term goals, whether they're a year, 2 years, 5 years, they need to be risky. They need to make you go, woo, I think I can do that. That's going to take some work, but it's possible. But they need to have a reasonable give for plateaus and setbacks, because it will happen. Whether you're going to the gym trying to lose weight or gain weight, and you run into a snag in your diet or in your workout and things aren't progressing as quickly as they were in the beginning. And I felt that way because in December, I was reading books like crazy. I was finishing a book like every week, and then also an Audible book. So I was like, man, if I read one book a week and throw in a couple of Audible books in there, that's easy to do 70, not realizing that that's probably not something that I can sustain unless I have a system for it, referring back to point number 1. So be risky, but also give yourself space for setbacks, plateaus, and snags along the way. Okay, number 3 is another big one, big one. The reason why you failed at your 2023 goals, the reason why I failed at reading 70 books in a year is that you shared your goals publicly. I made a video about it saying, I'm going to read 70 books. And what happened after that? The comments flooded in. Oh man, that's so amazing. You're so smart. You read so much. I wish I could be like you. And I'm getting all this dopamine like, yeah, I guess I am pretty good. I read an article in Psychology Today that talked about why we should not share our goals publicly. And I'll share the link in the description. But essentially what it is saying is that you are getting dopamine from the wrong source. Instead of getting the dopamine from actually completing the goals and sort of dragging out that dopamine release until the end, you're actually getting it all at the moment that you are sharing your public goals. All the praises that you get online, or even going to a vision board party where you're all cheering each other on. It's fun. It's music playing. I got wine. That's a ton of dopamine, and it makes you feel like you've already achieved the goal. So you've spent all your gas at the beginning, and there's no more dopamine, the goal pursuing gas that gets you to the finish line. So for 2024, if you've done it already, go back and delete it. Whatever you got to do not share your goals publicly. Be very, very secretive about your goals. Share it with people who are actually going to help with it. So don't even share it with all of your friends. Share it with the ones who either are going to motivate you, keep you accountable to that, or are not going to believe you. That actually helps more than a ton of people believing that you already have accomplished it. Having someone being like, I don't know if you can do that, that is more motivation to prove them wrong. I love a quote from a YouTuber by the name of Dan Coe, and he said, don't tell people about your goals, tell people what you're doing. If you want to share progress, tell people what you've already done and what you're currently doing. But you can do that without telling them what the actual goal or ambition is that you're working toward. Okay, last one, and this is also a big one too, low key. The reason why you failed at your 2023 goals, one of the reasons why I failed at reading 70 books in a year is that my goal was rooted in ego and not in meaningfulness. Ego is not a very sustainable fuel. It will burn out. It needs to be something meaningful that means something to you. So if I'm honest with myself and I'm honest with my audience, really that was not only to make me feel good in the time that I announced it, but at the end of it, I can say, I read 70 books. Who reads 70 books in a year? Not a lot of people. I can brag about that. But did I actually get better from it? Was I actually even retaining the information from all these books I was reading? I noticed that I was burning through books at first. I mean, I was on pace to get 70 for the first few months. And then I realized some of these books are really good, and I kind of want to spend more time with them. 1 week or less is not enough time to really let this marinate. One great example of that is Atomic Habits, one of the best books I read in 2023. And it was so good, I wanted to go back and read it again. I wanted to sit with it. I made so many highlights. I wanted to go back through it and have time to apply it in my life. That's where the book really gets its most value in your life, is when you actually apply it. So it was an ego lift versus a meaningful lift. Some people want to actually get stronger, get healthy. Some people want to look like they're healthy, look like they're strong. It's an ego lift. Some people go full range of motion. If they're squatting, they go all the way down because you know that's where you're going to get the most strength, is at the most length in that squat. And then other people, they just want to look like they can squat 225 pounds. It looks cool to put 2 plates on it, but they squat kind of halfway down, the knees are buckling. You can't actually lift that. So your reward is not the goal itself. The reward is looking like you achieved the goal. So specifically for my books and for all the other goals that I have for this year, I want them to actually be meaningful, not for other people, but for myself. Like, I won't tell you all the number of books that I want to read this year, but I have drastically dropped it because I'm thinking about how much time I want to spend with those books. And I want to actually grow. I want to be a better person. So one thing I did do right with my goals is that I did make it measurable. That is one key thing. Make sure they are measurable, that you can have a number and a date beside it, and also an action of what to do. It may be tied to something more abstract of who you want to be, but there has to be an action to go with it. So I wanted to be a more knowledgeable person, a more self-aware person. But in order to do that, I needed to read books, but not just skim through them, but really let them sit and marinate in my mind, in my spirit, in my heart, and then have time to apply that in my life. So think about the goals that you have. Are you simply wanting to do it because it makes you look good in front of people? Or is it because it's truly going to make you more of the person that you want to be in this life? So that's it. 4 reasons why you failed. You, just you, nobody else, not me. This video was about you failing at your 23 goals. Now, why you and why I failed at my 2023 goals. But if you look at it the right way, these are also ways that you can achieve the goals that you have for 2024 and beyond. But really, this video was about you though. Like, I failed at 1 goal. You probably failed at like 4 or 5 or 6 of them. But I mean, that's just between you and hey, ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just saying, it was just 1 for me.